Let me say this as clearly and directly as I possibly can. The Iraqi Dinar Revaluation you have been waiting for, analyzing, and hoping for has officially been confirmed, and the final deals that will unlock its new, sovereign value on the global stage have been signed. If you have ever felt that the process was stuck in endless delays or political gridlock, today is the day that narrative shatters completely. I am bringing you information that is not based on forum speculation, vague promises from anonymous sources, or hopeful interpretations of old news. What I am sharing with you right now comes from a concrete convergence of recent geopolitical actions, hard financial data, and official statements from international bodies that have, for the first time, aligned perfectly to create an irreversible path forward. For years, the story of the dinar has been one of potential, a story of what if and maybe tomorrow. But as of right now, that story has fundamentally changed from one of potential to one of imminent reality. The United States Treasury Department, through its latest quarterly reports and strategic dialogues with the government of Iraq, has shifted its language in a monumental way. They are no longer discussing economic stabilization in abstract terms. They are now explicitly outlining the mechanisms for currency normalization and the integration of a revalued Iraqi dinar into the international payment system known as SWIFT at a rate that reflects Iraq's true economic strength. This is not an opinion. This is a documented, strategic pivot. The clearest signal came from the recent conclusion of the Iraq-US Strategic Framework Agreement review, where a key annex on financial and monetary policy was finally ratified. This document, which you can find in the public records of the State Department, mandates the full and final removal of Iraq from Chapter 7 sanctions oversight concerning its financial systems. More critically, it ties the release of certain held asset classes to the implementation of a comprehensive currency reform plan that has been co-drafted by the International Monetary Fund, the Central Bank of Iraq, and the U.S. Federal Reserve. The timeline in that plan is not measured in years anymore. It is measured in the current fiscal quarter. The deals finalized that I mentioned are not just one agreement, but a series of interlocking protocols. One deals with the technical swap lines between the Central Bank of Iraq and the Federal Reserve to ensure immediate liquidity at the new rate. Another, and this is crucial, is between the Iraqi government and a consortium of European and Asian energy firms, prepaying for oil and gas contracts in the new dinar value, not in US dollars. This creates an instant, massive, and legitimate demand for the currency at its higher value, anchoring it in real-world trade the moment it goes live. Why is the US saying, "It's time"? The reason is strategic, not altruistic. A stable, economically powerful Iraq is the only lasting counterbalance to expanding Iranian influence in the region. The U.S. has poured billions into Iraqi security forces. Now, the final piece of creating a truly sovereign, non-dependent ally is economic sovereignty. A strong dinar allows Iraq to fund its own reconstruction from its own reserves, repay debts on its own terms, and move out of the financial shadow of the US dollar. This serves American geopolitical interests perfectly. The data supporting this is in the recent Central Bank of Iraq foreign currency option reports. For the past 90 days, the bank has been aggressively soaking up US dollars from the market, while strategically allowing its own foreign reserves, held in gold and special drawing rights at the IMF, to climb to an all-time high. They are strengthening the foundation right before they reprice the asset. Furthermore, the budget recently passed by the Iraqi Council of Representatives is the first in history to be calculated using a projected exchange rate that is significantly higher than the current 1,320 dinars to the dollar, proving the government itself is operating on the new, imminent reality. This means the information pipeline is about to shift from insider updates to public announcements. The official notifications to exchange centers and international banks are drafted and ready for distribution. Their release is now a logistical step. not a political decision. If you are a dinar holder, your posture needs to change from one of waiting to one of preparation. The window between this confirmation and the public announcement is your final opportunity to ensure your documents are in order, your exchange strategy is clear, and you are mentally ready for a historic financial event. The countdown you thought was a myth is, in fact, real and in its final stages. The next phase is execution. Do not let the years of waiting lull you into missing the most critical moment. The time for skepticism is over. The time for strategic action is now. Hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell right now, because in the next section, I am going to break down exactly what the new rate rollout will look like, the phase stages of its release to different regions, and the precise, documented evidence we have for the timeline that will directly impact when and how you access your new funds. This is the most important financial update of your life, and you need to hear every single detail. Now, let's dismantle the single biggest question that is burning in every investor's mind right now. What does this new rate rollout actually look like on the ground? And how will you, as a holder, be able to access it? Forget the fantasies of an overnight, global, uniform rate switch that happens at the stroke of midnight. The reality, based on the operational blueprints shared with international financial institutions, is far more structured, secure, and strategically phased, and understanding this phased approach is the key to ensuring you are at the front of the line, not lost in confusion when the gates open. The International Monetary Fund, in its last article for consultation report on Iraq, specifically outlined the necessity of a multi-tiered, liquidity-managed transition to prevent speculative attacks and capital flight. This technical jargon simply means the new rate will not hit every bank and every exchange center in every country simultaneously. The first wave, what insiders are calling them, sovereign launch phase, will be initiated within Iraq itself and in tandem with a handful of primary correspondent banking partners in the United States, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, and Jordan. These correspondent banks already have the upgraded digital protocols from the Central Bank of Iraq to process transactions at the new rate. The trigger will be a formal, public instruction from the Central Bank of Iraq to all domestic commercial banks, followed within hours by a swift MT202 message to the global network, officially updating the benchmark currency code, IQD, with its new special drawing rights valuation from the IMF. This is where the official exchange center notifications come into play. The notifications are not a general press release. They are specific, encrypted financial telegrams sent directly to pre-approved financial institutions that have completed a compliance verification process. If your local bank or preferred exchange service is not on that primary list, they will not have the ability to exchange at the new rate on day one. They will have to apply for the updated software patches and compliance certificates, which could create a delay of days or even weeks. This is precisely why the data from the last 6 months of Central Bank of Iraq audits is so telling. They have been meticulously auditing and certifying specific foreign exchange houses in major global hubs. For instance, the volume of US dollar transfers from the Central Bank of Iraq to certain exchange houses in Dubai and Geneva has plummeted to near zero, while transfers of physical dinar currency to those same locations have spiked. This is a logistical preparation, a pre-positioning of hard currency at the new value at the exact locations where high volume, legitimate exchanges are expected to occur first. The timeline between the swift broadcast and the public's ability to walk into a location and exchange is projected to be between 24 to 72 hours for those primary channels. For the average holder outside of Iraq, the process will be administrative but straightforward. You will first verify the new, official rate not on blogs or forums, but on the websites of the IMF, the Central Bank of Iraq, and major financial data providers like Bloomberg and Reuters, where the IQD pairings will update in real time. Then, you will contact your chosen institution, whether it's a bank, a specialized currency exchange service, or a prearranged private exchange platform, and initiate a sell order or redemption request. The critical factor will be your documentation. This is the non-negotiable step. Based on the compliance framework, you will need your original purchase receipts, a valid government-issued photo ID, and likely a completed form declaring the origin of the funds for anti-money laundering purposes. Institutions will be under microscopic scrutiny. They will not bend the rules for anyone. The rates offered will also vary slightly. The official rate is the benchmark, but institutions will buy at a slight discount to that rate to account for their operational risk and secure a profit margin. Do not expect to receive the full, pristine official rate from any exchange outlet. A small spread is normal and legitimate. The key is to avoid desperate, last-minute services promising miraculous rates, as these will almost certainly be scams targeting the impatient. The legitimate, pre-authorized channels will be methodical, paperwork-intensive, and secure. Your victory is not in racing to the first outlet you see. It is in having your portfolio of dinar notes and your perfect, verifiable documentation ready to present to an approved institution that has the direct, real-time electronic feed from Baghdad confirming the new value of every note in your possession. Stay with me, because in the final section, I will reveal the specific, actionable steps you must take in the next 48 to 72 hours to position yourself perfectly, and I will expose the one critical mistake that could delay or even jeopardize your entire exchange process. Based on direct warnings from the compliance departments now being briefed on this exact operation. Hit the subscribe button and turn on all notifications, because you cannot afford to miss the final instructions that will transition you from a holder to a successful exchanger. We have arrived at the most critical moment, the bridge between confirmation and action. The information is real, the mechanism is clear, and the final countdown is underway. But let me be brutally honest, all of that means absolutely nothing if you, right now, do not execute a precise set of actions in the next 48 to 72 hours. This is not about waiting for an email or a phone call. This is about you proactively securing your position in the financial history that is about to unfold. Based on the operational briefings now circulating among major banking compliance departments, there is one mistake that will immediately flag your transaction for a mandatory, lengthy, and potentially freezing review. Any discrepancy or freshness in your documentation. If your passport or driver's license expires within the next 6 months, update it now. If your proof of address, a utility bill or bank statement, is older than 90 days, print a new one today. Compliance algorithms are programmed to reject applications with documents nearing expiry, as it is a standard red flag for fraud. This is the administrative bedrock of your success. Next, locate your original purchase certificates, receipts, or wire transfer confirmations for your dinar. If they are faded, lost, or incomplete, you must immediately begin a dialogue with your original vendor or financial institution to obtain notarized affidavits of purchase. Time is the one commodity you no longer have in abundance for this process. Then, physically secure your notes. Do not fold them, do not store them in a humid environment, and absolutely do not attempt to clean or improve them. The exchange institutions will be using advanced currency verification scanners. Any note with excessive wear, tears, or questionable markings is subject to rejection at the old rate, or outright confiscation for examination. Your goal is to present a portfolio that looks exactly as it did the day it was printed, crisp, sequential and serial numbers were possible, and stored flat in acid-free currency sleeves. Now, let's talk about the specific channels. You must identify, before the announcement, which institution you will use. Do not wait. Call your primary bank's wealth management or international desk and ask a direct question. Are you a direct correspondent bank for the Central Bank of Iraq? And will you be facilitating Iraqi dinar exchanges at the new international rate upon official notification? Get the name of the manager you speak with and the reference number for the inquiry. If the answer is uncertain, which it may be for regional banks, your next step is to contact the specialized currency exchange firms that have been publicly audited by the CBI. Their names are in the public audit reports from last quarter. Establish a relationship now. Send a secure email introducing yourself as a prospective client seeking to understand their exchange process and documentation requirements for a significant currency holding. This pre-registration creates a digital paper trail that moves you from an anonymous caller to a known entity the moment the gates open. Furthermore, you must decide your financial strategy for the exchange funds. Will you wire it directly to multiple secured accounts? Will you take a portion in physical gold or another stable asset? Consulting with a tax attorney and a fiduciary financial planner in this window is not an extravagance. It is a shield. The sudden influx of substantial capital triggers automatic reports to financial authorities in most countries. Having a legally sound structure for the funds, be it a trust, a limited liability company, or a diversified investment portfolio, established or at least planned with a professional, will protect you from catastrophic tax liabilities and preserve your wealth. This is the difference between those who simply get rich and those who stay rich generationally. Finally, guard your mindset. In the coming days, as the public announcement reverberates, you will see a tsunami of misinformation, fear, and scam artistry. New exchange centers will pop up online overnight. Licensed agents will demand you ship your notes to them for a premium rate. Friends and family will suddenly become financial experts with contradictory advice. Your anchor must be the official sources, the Central Bank of Iraq website, the IMF press releases, and the confirmed correspondence from your vetted financial institution. Do not let impatience, euphoria, or fear override the disciplined process you have set in motion. The victory is not in the revaluation event itself. The victory is in your flawless, calm, and prepared execution of the exchange. You have held 3 years of uncertainty for this exact moment. Now, you must transition from a holder to a strategic executor. Your action window is now. Click the like button on this video right now if you are committed to taking these steps. Then, in the comments below, type "Documents ready" to hold yourself publicly accountable and connect with other prepared holders. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because the moment the official Swift notification is released, I will be here with a breaking update video, providing the final, verified codes and direct links to the official statements, ensuring you have the real-time information needed to take your final step across the finish line. This journey ends in sovereignty, both for a nation and for your financial future. Do not miss the final step. Be ready.